All right.
Hi.
Hey, good
Hi,
people.
Hi.
It's good to see you all.
Happy Wednesday night.
Yes, we are here. Hey, Denitra, it's good to see you. We are here. We
Hey,
are happy to
Kaylee.
see
Hi.
you guys. It's Wednesday, y'all. It is
Right.
Wednesday, and we came to get some wisdom. We are actually streaming live on YouTube tonight for the first time. So, y'all, thank you for being there. That is the plan to transition everything to YouTube. So, come September, we won't be going live on Instagram. We won't be going live on Facebook. We will be right here on YouTube streaming live. Right. For you good people with wisdom. Hey, family. See you, Rev. I see you.
Mima.
Yes. Hey, Mima.
Hi, everybody.
All right. So live on YouTube for the first time.
Right.
Yeah. This is great. We are excited. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go. Let's get into it.
All right, let's start.
Let's get into it. So we've got the disclaimer. I'm Dr. Lakiba Williams. This is Lauren. Right. And we are here, Fresh Hope today, coming with some wisdom today. Yes. We came with some wisdom. We're going to read the disclaimer because everybody's family, so y'all know who we are. Licensed professional counselor. Lauren's a licensed associate professional counselor. Mm-hmm. And we are coming tonight as adult educators, right? We want to teach you about mental health and wellness from an educational perspective. So Lauren's going to read our disclaimer, and then we'll get into our program tonight.
Yeah, sure. So this episode should not be used as a substitute episode or live stream. Should not be used as a substitute for medical or mental health advice. Individuals are advised to seek independent medical advice, counseling, and/or therapy from a healthcare professional with respect to any medical condition.
Yes.
Mental health issues or injury, including matters discussed on this episode. So essentially, anything that we discuss on this episode, if you feel just compelled or you feel like, okay, that's me, we don't want you to stop here. We want you to seek the help that you really need. So that might look like seeking out, hey, Kim, that might look like seeking out a medical professional or even a primary care physician if it's any physical health concerns. So
yes, and we want to put a plug for Psychology Today in your town, anywhere USA. You can Google Psychology Today and look for licensed professional counselors, psychologists. Yeah, I mean, that is the place to go. Or you can go to Therapy for Black Girls or Therapy for Black Men. Or there's so many other ways that you can find mental health care professionals. Yeah. You can also look for a life coach that can assist you in your wellness journey as it relates to mental health concerns. So this is not a substitute for that. We are simply coming tonight with some wisdom and to be with you all because that's what we want to do tonight. We just want to be with y'all.
Here. Yeah.
Why Wisdom Wednesday? Well, we created Wisdom Wednesday. Our purpose for creating it is to extend the wisdom that Lauren and I have gained over our years personally, but also through research, educational pursuits, and also from our wonderful clients, of which some of you are out there. Your name shall not be mentioned, but you may be out there. And you have taught us so much, and we've learned so much from you and gotten to share in your journey. And those experiences have caused us to go deeper. And so what we want to do tonight is give you back what you've given us, that depth, that empathy, that love. We're just sending a whole lot of good energy to y'all tonight. And just know that when we came up with this idea, it wasn't something that we took lightly. It was impressed upon us, and we feel like it's something special. And we know it's special because tonight you're here. We know it's special because you showed up. And God would think, the Creator would think enough of you to allow all of us to get together to say something that we hope will encourage you on your life's journey, that will give you some encouragement to keep doing what you're doing, because everything you need is on the inside of you.
Right.
There is nothing that you need that you haven't already been given.
Right.
We just came to fan that flame that's on the inside of you, to let you know that you're special and you are loved, and that there's wisdom for us to gain. No matter how old we are, there's always something that we can learn.
Right. At any stage of life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So just to reiterate, we are on 3 different platforms right now. Eventually, we're going to be on one. So we're going to go Facebook Live starting in September. So if you, is that right, September? Or
well, actually, we'll be Facebook Live.
We
won't
YouTube,
be on the platform anymore
YouTube,
in September. In September, the beginning of September, we will be going exclusively
Live.
YouTube. So at Fresh Hope Today is our YouTube channel. We have 31 subscribers. So those folks were notified as soon as we got on. So we see some of you. And we just want to let you know that we're doing this. Hey, family. Hey, old man. We got old man in the house tonight, because we're going to be speaking. Wisdom is universal. It doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have an age.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but we'll be exclusively in YouTube.
YouTube. So you can click the link in our bio.
Yes.
On Instagram and on Facebook.
Yes.
So to get there. So go ahead and subscribe. And if you don't have access to either one of those, you can just go to YouTube, type in Fresh Hope Today.
Yes.
You'll see our icon. It's like a little green circle with a little flower pot in it, and you can press subscribe and notify, and then you'll know when we are live and when we upload videos, and so you can be on the train when we got some good things coming.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. So we shared the disclaimer with you. We shared the mission statement. We've done all the housekeeping.
Yes.
We got to get into it.
Let's go.
Yeah. So if you
let's go.
Share this with somebody, like, comment, whatever as we're going on, because we want to talk to you. So let's get into it. So last week we talked about difficult people. And specifically, we addressed invalidators. If you were here last week, you can raise your hand. You can put in a comment. I remember that conversation about invalidators.
Yes.
So we thought it was important. We talked about invalidators. We described difficult people. We gained wisdom on how to deal with difficult people. So we thought this week we would address what self-validation is. We want to gain wisdom on self-validation. So Dr. Lakiba and I, once again, we did extensive research, both personally, professionally, and then, peer-reviewed clinical research. And we came up with what we're going to give you tonight.
Some knowledge.
Absolutely, some knowledge.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the knowledge on self-validation. So if we're going to discuss self-validation, we have to start with validation. Right?
Wait a minute. You mean we can't just talk about the invalidators and let them have all the
show,
airtime?
Run the show?
Yeah.
No, that's not what we're gonna do. No, and they're not gonna be, the momentum to our trajectory either. No. We're gonna find it from within.
We got good news tonight.
Right? He said, "Oh, but good."
Yes.
No, that's right.
Yes.
So validation. Validation means to express understanding and acceptance of another person's internal experience.
Yes.
Whatever that might be, okay? Validation does not mean that you agree or approve. I looked at all 3 screens. Validation builds relationships.
Yeah.
And it helps ease upset feelings. Knowing that you are understood and that your emotions and your thoughts are accepted by others is powerful. To know that my emotions and my thoughts you might not agree with them. You may not think that they are aligned with what you believe. Yeah. But I know that you accept them. Yeah. There's a difference, right?
Yeah. What does that sound like experientially?
Right, of course. So that sounds like, I hear you.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing. I'm holding space for you.
I'm a soft place to land.
Right.
What you share with me is going to stay with me. Only if you mean it. Only if you mean it.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So something else that I think is important here to share is validation is essentially relationship glue.
Oh.
It's what holds relationships together, not time. We all spend time with people.
Oh.
That we're not spending time with no more. Okay. It's not money, right? It's not sexual intimacy. You didn't know I was gonna go like that. Right. It's not any of these things.
Oh.
It's validation. Right?
You matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You're
matter
important to me.
Yeah.
The relationship is important to me.
I value it.
Oh my goodness.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay.
So what happens when we solely rely on just validation? Right?
Externally?
External validation. What happens? What happens?
Y'all tell us what happens when you're depending on someone else to tell
Right.
you matter, that you're important.
You're okay.
You're okay.
You're
You can
doing
breathe.
good.
Yeah.
You're special.
You look good. Oh goodness.
You're good at what you do.
Yeah.
Right? You just started baking. You realize it's a passion. I'm only gonna keep going if y'all say it tastes good.
Okay. What happens if you just depending on someone else outside of yourself to give you that validation?
I have an answer.
Tell us.
We posted this
Okay.
on
Yes.
our Instagram.
Yes.
The answer to this, okay?
Yes.
So
It's temporary.
if outside, who said that?
You will never be
Amber.
happy.
Yes. Good. Absolutely. These are all right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys. If outside validation is your only source of nourishment, you will hunger for the rest of your life. If validation, outside validation, external validation is your only source of nourishment, you will hunger for the rest of your life, right? So to avoid starving, we have to develop the skill of self-validation.
Did you know that was a thing, self-validation? Did you? Hey, Ricky, it's good to see you on there. I'm glad to see you on there, brother. You will stay empty. Did you all know you can self-validate? Did you all know that's allowed?
Ooh.
I mean, I'm just saying, because sometimes we grow up and we get these messages that that's being prideful. You're thinking too much of yourself,
too highly of
yeah,
yourself.
sometimes people will use sometimes people will use even sacred texts. They'll use scripture to
keep you alive.
Yeah.
Cut you down.
Yeah, but that same Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself.
I've heard it fearfully
and wonderfully named. But if it says love your neighbor as yourself, I've heard somebody say, I don't want y'all to love me the way y'all love y'allself, because y'all not loving y'allself right. Okay. So what we're saying is validating yourself is wonderful. We give you permission.
Woo!
You have permission to look by the mirror, to walk by the mirror and look in the mirror. Yes, self-love. To walk by the mirror and look at yourself and say, and then back up again. Oh my, don't do a double take of yourself.
Yeah.
I give you permission to do it.
Right. So what is self-validation?
Yes.
Self-validation is accepting your own internal experience, your thoughts, and your feelings. Self-validation doesn't mean that you believe your thoughts or think that your feelings are justified, okay? There are many times that we will have thoughts that surprise us, and these thoughts do not reflect our core values, who we are, right? You'd be like, oh, did I say that? Did I just think that?
Oh, so those are intrusive thoughts.
Right.
And we are not our thoughts. They just might pop on the scene and maybe somebody said that to us before. We just got thoughts coming through. And that's not necessarily us. That's just our thoughts.
Right.
It's just a part of our experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You will also have feelings that you know are not justified.
So those aren't facts either?
No.
Our thoughts and feelings aren't facts?
No, they're not.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these things, these feelings, these thoughts, they're just a part of the human experience.
Yeah.
We all experience them. We all experience some that are outside of our norm, outside of our core values, who we like to be, because we're human, we're fallen, and we all live in a world where we're just doing the best that we can.
We're not perfect.
We're not perfect.
Yeah.
So you will miss out on important information about who you are as a person, right? If you are solely relying on external validation. What does that mean? You will not have a true identity. You won't know who you are because you're relying on the validation of other people to even paint a picture to describe who you are, and you're waiting. It's like you ever been somewhere and you see that person on the street doing this, you gonna sit there for 20 some 30 40 years waiting for them to get done to turn around the paper right before you be in the casket.
Right.
You can do it yourself. Right?
Why
You're
not?
just gonna be waiting for somebody to reflect to you who they think that you are.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. We don't just do this because we want to. We'll talk about some of the reasons that we do this. So that is knowledge. We talked about validation. We also talked about self-validation.
Yeah.
What are these two things?
Yeah.
All right. I'll
So you have the knowledge. You all can tell people, okay, I know what validation is.
Right.
It's saying you're okay the way that you are. And when you self-validate, you say to yourself, I'm 100% acceptable the way that I am. And I'm working on some things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's self-validation. So that's the knowledge. We want to also talk to you about, okay, well, let's get some understanding about why self-validation is so important. And what comes to mind for me is when we're validating our thoughts and our emotions, acknowledging them, that means we're showing up and that we're here. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite movies is Color Purple. Mm-hmm. It's one of my favorite. Lauren will tell you. Mm-hmm. Anybody that knows me will tell you that is one of my favorite. Y'all got the answers to one of my security questions. If the security question asks me that, it is The Color Purple. Why? Because it is such a beautiful story of somebody invalidating you and then you learning to validate yourself. Mm-hmm. When I think about Miss Seeley, and at the end of the movie, Mr. sitting on the porch, ain't nobody at his house. Everybody's at Miss Seeley's house. She's sitting on the porch with all her friends. And y'all know right before that scene, she says, I'm here. And what she's saying is, I'm in my body now. Mm-hmm. That's good. It doesn't matter what you said about me. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm talented and I'm gifted. Mm-hmm. I know that comparison is the thief of joy. I don't have to compare myself with anybody because I'm special. God made me special. So the self-validation is the ticket. If you're waiting on somebody else to do it, you're going to be waiting long. Go on and do it for yourself. Well, then some of you might be out there, okay, I just want to understand how to do it. Well, we want to give you an exercise. It's called a mirror exercise. Mm-hmm. Many of us have the experience of where we've been in situations and circumstances, maybe as young children, and we've experienced people pointing at us and telling us about ourselves, right? And so that has become the inner critic. We've internalized that voice. And now when we walk by the mirror, we start to do that to ourselves. We start to, well, you ain't this and you think you all that and you ain't. We just want to look in the mirror and do that when you get the opportunity to. I want you to go to the mirror just in your own quiet time and look in the mirror and just feel the feelings that you feel when you look in the mirror. Just feel them. Just sit with it. Yeah. And when you feel the feelings, I want you to think about what it feels like to feel that. And then when you feel what it feels like to feel it, I want you to feel love for yourself because you stood there long enough without saying you're this, you're that, you don't measure up. You just didn't do that one time. That one time.
Wow,
it's on me tonight.
I can't even sit by you.
It's on me tonight. You sure it's not my change of life? Well, I don't know. But anyway, you got to sit with it, though. You got to sit with it. You got to look at yourself. And before the voices start, before all that happens, you just sit with yourself. And then you start to love what you see and love that you can sit there and look long enough and feel what you feel. Now, some of those feelings may be unpleasant, but don't run from it because there is help on the way because you're there for you. It's one thing for somebody to abandon you. It's a whole nother thing for you to abandon yourself. I want everybody on this call just to commit to yourself. Yes, Angela, it is. That change of life is rough. Trust me. And we got these lights on us too, ladies. But this is an intergenerational dialogue. We got to talk about this with y'all.
Yeah,
so y'all know what's going on. They have a change of life too. Everybody got a change of life. Right. But anyway, sit with that thing. Look in that mirror and love what you see. And the fact that you standing there or you're sitting there long enough and do that on a regular basis
And see
and
what
watch
happens.
what happens. You will
Right.
be transformed
Mhm.
by the love that you begin to show yourself. Yes, you are enough.
Right.
Always.
Right.
But you got to practice it. And we say all the time, practice makes progress.
Mm.
The more you practice it, the more adept at it you become.
Right.
And the more comfortable you get at looking at yourself.
Right.
And taking you in.
Right.
And appreciating you.
Right.
And your story.
Yeah.
Please go to the mirror and love yourself. Validate what you see.
Because it's not, can I add this?
Please.
And we'll get into it, but it's not the external beauty that we're talking about, right? It's not the way that you look, which you can like that too. It's validating your experience. That's your history. We'll talk about that. Some places that you've been, in contrast to where you are now.
You're still here.
And some respect for yourself.
You're still here.
Right?
You're looking in the mirror, you like,
she did that. Look at her.
Yeah.
Right?
And take yourself, all of you in.
Even if it's just getting up.
Yeah.
Even if it's just doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, getting out the bed and
going
about your day. You showed up.
Yeah.
That'll start something in you.
It'll light a fire.
It'll light some sort of fire.
Oh, yes.
You'll gain an appreciation for yourself.
Yes.
And you'll begin to validate yourself. So
yes.
I also wanted to add this to piggyback off of what you said. So validating your thoughts and emotions will help you to calm yourself. Yes. This is why it's important. Hey, Chels, to calm yourself and manage your emotions effectively. Yeah. When you name it, you can tame it. So when you validate your experience, you talk about the things, or you tell yourself, you acknowledge what you're going through, the things that are really ugly, right? The things that are really nasty, the things that we don't want to sit with. You can name that. And then once you name it, so that's grief. That's depression. That's anxiety. That's all of these things that we don't want to be associated with. But when we acknowledge it, we sit with it, we validate it, from there, we can have a plan to move forward, right? This is another plug for mental health professionals.
Yes.
If you're like, okay, I get all that, but I ain't got no plan. I don't know how to do this. We'll give you some steps.
Or it's too uncomfortable.
It's really difficult.
You can go see a mental health professional, a licensed professional counselor, a psychologist can help you with some exposure therapy to help you to measure it out. So you're able to do it. You're able to go through your history and actually see how amazing you are and how you can take yourself in. Yes, your physical is beautiful. Yeah. But your spirit is beautiful, and your soul, your mind, body, your soul, everything. It's just beautiful. You could take all that in. I want to read something to you that I found that I thought was pretty darn cool. It's a story. So it's a little story. It says, the Creator gathered all of creation and said, I want to hide something from humans until they are ready for it. It is the realization, the humans, until they are ready for it. It is the realization that they create their own reality. Y'all create your own reality. We create our own reality. The eagle said, well, give it to me. I'll take it to the moon. The Creator said, no, one day they will go there and find it. The salmon said, I will bury it in the bottom of the ocean. No, they will go there too. The buffalo said, I will bury it on the Great Plains. The Creator said, they will cut into the skin of the earth and find it there. Grandmother Mole, who lives on the breast of Mother Earth and who has no physical eyes but sees with spiritual eyes, said, put it inside of them. And the Creator said, it is done. It is on the inside of you all where you create your reality. It's on the, I'm telling you something tonight. You're looking for it outside of yourself, but it is not outside of yourself. This is a Sioux creation myth that I thought beautifully captures the fact that the Creator put in all of us the realization that we are creating our reality every day. So mind your thoughts. Mind the words that you say about yourself when you walk by the mirror. Say when you look at yourself, see not what people have said, but just stop and just take yourself in.
Wait, you mean even when I'm going through it?
Yes.
even when has hit the fan.
Yes.
Even when I'm at my lowest of low,
then you
especially
need to do
then.
Then you need to do it more than ever.
Especially then.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So self-validation helps you to find wisdom, right? Wisdom first with yourself. You gain a sense of identity. Your identity gets stronger because you're able to validate your experience. You're more comfortable with yourself. You're more comfortable sitting with yourself, seeing yourself, acknowledging what you're going through, reminiscing or planning for the future. You have a sense of identity. You have things that you want. You recognize what you don't want. That's identity, right?
I'm here.
Right.
I'm here. Celie, Miss Celie, I'm here.
I'm here.
Yes.
Absolutely. So it helps us to find wisdom. If I don't know the course of action, I need to take this process to formulate a plan of action. I need to take a process. So we talked about that. What's that process? Well, potentially it's seeking out professional help, right? But we do have something here for you in addition to that.
Yes.
So I'll let you start there about Marsha, and then I'll go into what she's talking about.
So this idea of being present with yourself, we talked about that in the mirror. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to take yourself in, sit, meditate. That helps. Go outdoors. That's the easiest way for you to connect with yourself. An accurate reflection. I feel angry. Maybe you were raised and you couldn't talk about the way that you feel. Maybe you're in a relationship now, and if you talk about the way that you feel, people's egos so fragile they can't handle your feelings in this space with theirs. You got to figure out how to get that stuff out. Get you a journal. I got one. It's nice too. And you know what? I write in it, and I write in it every morning. And you know what it does? It gives me a space where I can say, I'm here. Mm-hmm. This is my experience. And it's valid because I'm writing it. Mm-hmm. Write the vision. Make it plain. You got a plan for yourself? Mm-hmm. Go on and write it. Mm-hmm. Yes, Amber, that journaling is a wonder. Mm-hmm. It's a wonder because that energy, that emotion is energy. So you got to get it out of your body and out of your mind, right? We also want to encourage you to do what's next.
Right. So just circling back to being present, be mindful of your emotions without pushing them away. Yeah. If you don't hear anything, that's what we want to share with you today. When you get the urge to push what you're experiencing away, push what you feel away, that is the opposite of self-validation. That's invalidating your own experience because it's real, right? And it's happening. Yeah. So we want you to learn to be present with that. Here are some ways that you can do that. Meditation, like you talked about, journaling, even if spiritual forms of expression are ways to validate your experience as well. Speaking, to your higher power, whatever you call them, right? Validates your experience about what you're going through. We talked about an accurate reflection. This is important because a lot of times when we are deviating from self-validation, we don't give an accurate reflection. It typically is a reflection that further pushes us into whatever ditch that we're in. What does this look like?
The rabbit hole we go down when we start to think about what other people are thinking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Example of this, I feel angry. This is what we want to do. I feel angry. It started yesterday when my friend canceled our pool date. Oh. A sense of flutters. You can give yourself even a physical description of what's happening. That helps for it to be accurate. I sense flutters in my stomach. A lot of times I ask my clients, what's coming up for you physically? When we start there, then we can indicate an emotion. If it's too much for you to jump to an emotion, if it's overwhelming for you to say I'm sad or I'm depressed or I'm angry or I'm happy, sometimes it's hard for us to even say we're happy. Let's start with, it's almost like kids, right? Let's start with the physical. What's happening? Mm-hmm. Well, I sense flutters in my stomach. That's an indicator that, you might be upset or irritable. What we don't want to do, what we typically do, when we're not given an accurate depiction is saying she don't like me and nobody wants to be my friend. That's why she canceled on me. So nobody like me.
Thinking traps, cognitive distortions. Your thinking gets stinking.
Right.
You got the stinking thinking. Hey, auntie. You got the stinking thinking.
Right. Hey, auntie.
And your mind starts to take you down to a place where you start to get down on yourself.
Right.
And you actually needed that validation or that assurance from that. At least that's what you think. You think you need it to be okay, but what we're saying is that's like syrup on the pancakes. That's like gravy on top of the mashed potatoes. Mm-hmm. The mashed potatoes are good by themselves. You put a little gravy on it, that make it even better. You are already what it is. You good. You good. The experience with other people is external, and it may or may not be there, but you got to know that you're good anyway.
Right.
And you can bolster that by sitting with yourself. You can bolster that by
Giving yourself an
Yes.
accurate reflection of what happens. Essentially, don't be in your feelings when you're talking to yourself. Be in your feelings, but into slang, don't be in your feelings. Allow yourself to experience your feelings without giving an inaccurate reflection of what's happening, because that could further increase your emotional distress or emotional dis-ease.
And it's hard to do if you're dealing with some trauma. So that's why we're
We're going to talk
saying
about that.
talk it through and make
Mhm.
sure that you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're working with somebody to work through that stuff if that's the case.
Absolutely. Number 3 is guessing. So sometimes you won't be sure of what you're thinking or feeling. Sometimes you don't know what's going on. You don't have a accurate definition for what's happening for you. Something that is also helpful that we're finding: put yourself in someone else's shoes. So, for example, you're in a really what you thinking?
No,
What you thinking? Yeah. So if let's say you're in a sticky situation, a lot is at stake, right? And you've been so just in this space where it's really hard to differentiate between right and wrong. We've all been there, right? Something that's helpful, instead of just taking something that's not beneficial to you, that's detrimental to you, is to just ask yourself a simple question. It might seem silly at first. Put yourself in someone else's shoes. If this was someone else's situation, would they be sad? I use this a lot with my clients. We talk about this all the time, that their affect is kind of numb.
Flat.
Yeah, they're flat. Or they'll say things like, it's cool. Whatever.
It's not that big of a deal. People have more serious problems than me. Have you all ever shared that with other people?
Yeah.
Have you ever said that to yourself? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not, so-and-so has this going on. This isn't as bad as that. I just need to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. If you find yourself saying that a lot, right, more often than not, take the time to play this, utilize this exercise. Yeah. So just put yourself in someone else's shoes. Say, if someone else was in this situation, would they be angry? Would they validated? They feel upset? Right. That's just chipping away at the iceberg to get to the core of validation, even if you don't have it to start with. And then number 4, this is kind of what you were talking about, validating your history. I'll let you take that one.
Yeah. Well, it's important for us to know that if we have fears of abandonment, then you're going to be triggered with that when that happens.
Right.
And so you may have that initial, and it'd be definitely hard for you to work through that. But just the acknowledgement of that it makes sense that I would respond that way. I say all the time, everybody has a history, a background, and previous relationship experiences. And those things impact the way that we show up in the world. Until they don't, little bit by little bit, we're asking 2 questions. Am I worthy of love and belonging? And will you be there for me? Those are attachment questions, right? And what we've been doing, hey, Kanita, it's good to see you. What we've been doing is we've just been asking those questions of other people. Put something in my cup. Tell me I'm worthy. We're walking around begging everybody to tell us we're okay. What we're saying is you can ask those 2 attachment questions of yourself tonight, because that is self-validation. Self, am I worthy of love and belonging?
Yes.
Yes. Self, will you be there for me?
Ooh, yes.
I got you. Even when I want to dip.
The wheels fall off.
Yeah, even when I want to dip.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Even when I want to dip, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Right.
Y'all are awesome.
Yeah.
And thank you. Thank you, Ramonica. Thank you so much.
That was good.
We're just happy to share with y'all. Y'all join us in September. We're going to be on that YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We're going to come out of Facebook and Instagram. So at Fresh Hope Today.
Right.
We're just going to come every week. And we got some big things. And we're working with y'all. The platform is going to get nicer. because we're working with some professionals that are going to help us with our presentation. So yes, you don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
Wisdom. What's the wisdom tonight from you? What do you have tonight?
I think something that would be helpful with self-validation, navigating self-validation, is radical genuineness. Being your authentic self, right? So knowing yourself, showing up as yourself, even when it's hard. When you're radical about your authenticity, your validation is going to have to come out, right? Because then you'll be able to notice, okay, I do like this, I don't like this. I'm meeting somebody new. Instead of kind of, whether it's a friendship, romantic relationship, a work environment relationship, instead of kind of contouring myself into something that somebody seems or dictates to be valuable,
shape-shifting,
or lovable,
yeah,
or easy, or whatever you heard, that's something I heard. Those sorts of things. Be radical about your genuineness, because from there you're able to develop a sense of identity, a sense of advocacy, and a sense of self-love. All of that self-validation, right? So that's authenticity. Be yourself. And if you haven't, if you feel like you've been, neglecting to do that, or you feel like you haven't felt confident doing that, start today. Right? Start today. Just be authentically yourself. Start by yourself. That starts with the mirror thing.
The mirror exercise.
Yeah, just looking in the mirror.
Look in the mirror.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Take yourself in. You are beautiful.
Yeah.
You are a beautiful soul. And ask yourself, when you look in the mirror, ask yourself, how's your heart? How's your heart? Wisdom tonight. The wisdom that I have tonight, because we got the knowledge, we have the understanding. We know why self-validation is important now. I want to give some wisdom tonight related to, Lauren just shared, going on and be authentic. I want to add to that. The other side of that is, when you're authentically you, once you accept yourself, it will draw some new people, and it's going to repel some old people. It's going to draw new people.
Say it again.
And it's going to repel some old people.
Okay.
Because some people have been in relationship with your representative. Absolutely.
That silence was so
So when you self-validate, what you're doing, beautiful people, is you're reintroducing these people to yourself. And I want to introduce you. Yes. Okay, Angela said she wants to see the attachment styles soon. We're gonna come with the attachment styles. Y'all, there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
But we're gonna come and we're gonna talk about some other things related to self-validation. You have the right to show up. You have the right to get your need. You have the right to negotiate to get your needs met. Who else is gonna negotiate to get your needs met?
If you're waiting on somebody else to do it,
it's gonna be the timer on the game show. Dum, 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 dum. It's like forever. Yeah, you're gonna be waiting forever. But you can do it. So I would say to you, when you show up authentically, when you decide I'm gonna be myself, because you've sat in that mirror and you did that mirror exercise and you looked at yourself and you said, I got you. Yes, you're worthy of love and belonging, and yes, I'm gonna be here for you. Some people will be attracted by it. They will be drawn to you because they be like, you my people.
Yeah.
You my people. Let's go to a concert together.
Right.
Yeah, let's be. All right, Angela, thank you so much. Join us. We will be here every Wednesday at 8:00. Every Wednesday. YouTube. Yes. On YouTube at Fresh Hope Today. In September, we just going to be in the platform on YouTube. Y'all, this
YouTube
is
Live.
for you.
Yeah.
This is for you. This is nothing but love for you. This is stuff that we've learned along the way.
Learning.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We're all ever learning, ever growing, and we feel like we just want to give it away. We just want to get to whom much is given, much is required. So now that you all have these things, we're just believing in generational change. We're believing in wellness. Yeah. Every good thing that we're believing for, it just comes when we first love ourselves. We got to do that, y'all. So we will see you next Wednesday. We got something planned for you special next Wednesday.
Yeah,
so
be
meet
here.
us back
Be
here.
here. Be here
Yes.
next Wednesday. Share
Love
this.
y'all.
Share this with a friend.
Yes.
The video will be uploaded to YouTube. So if you or somebody that you know wasn't able to make it, or you want to rewatch it, it will be on our YouTube channel, Fresh Hope Today. Go there now, subscribe, then you'll get a notification when we're going live and when a video is uploaded. Thank you guys so
love
much.
You guys. Thank you for the love.
Yeah,
go on and love yourself.
Love you,
go on and love yourself.
Love you, Aunt Ruth.
Yes.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Love you, Amber.
Bye, Kristen.
Love you, Rev. Love you, Denitra. Bye, all of you. Blessings.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.